Alright, hello everyone. Thank you for joining me this evening for a late night stream. We currently have a tornado warning in Iowa. This is along a portion of I-80. Give me just a second. I'm going to pull up stream chat so we can see what's going on. If it's going to cooperate. Alright, so this tornado warning is near Guthrie Center, Menlo, Stewart, Iowa, just to the north of there. So we've got some strong damaging winds with the potential for a tornado. You can see this whole line where you can see the white and green. We've also got Storm Chaser Patrick. He's allowed me to use his live feed. And there's a lot of lightning occurring with this storm, so be sure that you get indoors because lightning is a real hazard. But we're just here for a late night stream. I'm not sure how long this is going to be, but we're just going to watch all of these storms. So this storm is pretty much directly on its way to Des Moines, Iowa. And this does have the potential to produce some isolated spin-up tornadoes and heavy rain along with small hail. But my main concern would be the damaging winds. You can see where that line is right now. This was previously warned for 70 miles an hour, and I think we've been seeing damaging winds up to 75 or 80 for sure, so I'm not sure why they downgraded it. But you can especially see that pocket near Panora, Iowa. But if you are just tuning in, please be sure to like the stream. It helps me out a lot. We've got 6 people watching, 1 like. I don't think this is hail down here. I think it's mainly contamination. All of these 70 dBz, just because of how close we are to the radar. Alright, so that pocket is picking up again. The radar is picking up on that. So that's the radar in Des Moines, but I think we can also see some rotation with the Omaha radar. Although since it is further, it's not going to be as accurate. But I think we can see rotation on there a little bit better. Are you saying go to 21 frames and you'll see that it's contamination? It's going to take a second to load. Okay, let's go back on the right radar. Yeah, it is contamination. If you do know anyone in this area, be sure to tell them to seek shelter on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, a basement or storm shelter, away from windows. You're not going to be able to see this if there does end up being a tornado. And if you are in Des Moines, okay, we now have a severe thunderstorm warning for Des Moines. I'm surprised they didn't at least issue this for a 65 mile an hour tag, but the National Weather Service knows best. So this is for another hour and 10 minutes, so that is when the storms are going to move into Des Moines. It's going to be a while, but be sure that you are prepared. And I'm surprised they didn't put that tornado possible tag, but maybe that means that they'll just reissue the tornado warning. It is kind of hard to decipher if these areas on velocity are not reflectivity, if they are rotation or just damaging winds. Let's go back to 7 frames. But once again, this tornado warning is just north of I-80. Near Stewart, Iowa. But I think the main rotation is south of Panora or to the west of Linden. This is to the north of Greenfield, Iowa. They are included in that severe thunderstorm warning. It's obviously never a good thing to see Greenfield in the path of severe weather because they've dealt with enough in the past year or two. Thankfully, this is staying to the north of them. We don't want anybody to have to deal with it. Also, a severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag. I'm not seeing any rotation with that. Maybe a little bit on the Lincoln radar, but mainly damaging winds and heavy rain with that. That's approaching Streator, Reading, Winona, Iowa, near Toluca, Rutland. I know I said most of those wrong. But we've got 11 people watching, so if you are just tuning in, thanks for joining. Please consider subscribing to the channel. It does help me out a lot, but it is completely optional. If you have a question for your location, drop a zip code, county, or a region of a state in chat. But right now, we're going to focus on central Iowa because these storms are approaching a very populated area. Rotation near Yale. I'm assuming Yale, Iowa. Yep. Okay, so that's to the north of our tornado warning. I'm not seeing any rotation with that, but I might be wrong. But mainly damaging winds up there, and the tornado warning is to the south of there. But if you are just tuning in, please consider liking the stream. I do also have a PayPal, but that's completely optional. You can see it down there at Mr. Twister YT. Also, go subscribe to Storm Chaser Patrick Panetta. You can see him in the top right. He's allowed me to use his footage because he is on this storm on Interstate 80. Yeah, no rotation near Yale, Iowa at the moment, but still strong damaging winds, heavy rain, and frequent lightning. You can see how much lightning is occurring over here on Patrick's feed. So it's a very dangerous situation. Also, these storms are moving relatively slow. I mean, 40 miles per hour, that's not slow. It's also not fast. So this could cause some localized flooding. I'm mainly worried. Thankfully, this is staying to the north of I-80 because that's a busy interstate. Are you talking about near Yale? Because, yeah, it does not line up with reflectivity. It's always hard to see if rotation does line up with reflectivity when you've got a big storm like this, like an MCS, and especially when it's near the radar. Storms near the radar are almost as difficult to track as away from the radar, and I know I'm going to get clipped for that. That's a hot take, but contamination makes things really difficult, especially trying to use correlation coefficient. It's just a mess. So trying to detect debris is nearly, I wouldn't say impossible, but it's very, very difficult. We are currently 25 subscribers away from 1,600. So if you could subscribe, it's completely optional, but it would help me out a lot. You were driving north of Des Moines and there was a large amount of lightning. If you can, pull off the roadway, especially if you're in the path of these damaging winds. Don't get out of your vehicle for very long because that lightning is very dangerous. But if you are just tuning in, okay, we did get that tornado warning lifted. I think it was supposed to expire in 5 minutes. We have a flash flood warning for Princeton, Illinois. So at 12:08 a.m. Central Daylight Time, which is 3 minutes ago, Doppler radar indicated thunderstorms, which dissipated across the warned area, so they're gone now. Between 2 and 3.5 inches of rain have fallen, with high water and flash flooding still likely. So thankfully the rain's done there, but it's not done yet. So if you are just tuning in, please consider liking the stream. We have 12 people watching. I'm surprised that we have this many people in the stream tonight. I have not been paying attention to chat very much, so I should say hi to everyone. Hey Sydney, Camp, hi. Evan, Itzbra, Abby. Do you think this is going to drop anything bad in the metro area? I'm assuming you're talking about the Des Moines Metro area, and at the moment, a tornado does not look imminent, but you see this white pocket, that is strong damaging winds, probably at least 70 miles an hour, and that's on a direct path to Des Moines, Iowa, and that's about 26 miles out and moving at 40 miles per hour, so be prepared for some power outages and some tree limbs could be broken. I'd recommend bringing your car in. Thankfully, hail doesn't look to be a huge threat with this storm. Your parents are in Adel. Okay, so they are on the southern edge of those damaging winds. They'll probably be there in the next 15 minutes, so 40 miles an hour. Radar Omega estimates 18 minutes, but I'd go closer to 10 or 15. So yes, please do have them bring everything in. And there's also very frequent lightning with this storm. But damaging winds would be the main threat. I'm not so concerned about a tornado at the moment. Why does the line look like Bart Simpson? Let's take a look. I'm assuming you mean reflectivity. Oh, that's funny. I can see the nose. And the hair. Interesting. Unfortunately, since this stream, I started it pretty abrupt. I didn't schedule it or anything, so there is no thumbnail. But at least we're here. It looks like Patrick getting pounded with heavy rain and damaging winds. Can you check my area where I live? LaPorte County, Indiana. I think I know where that is. Should be over here, but it's probably northwest Indiana. Yep. Okay. That's crazy, Camp. Alright, so you've got some lighter rain. Not too many threats with that. I don't think lightning is too frequent with this, but just expect some rain overnight moving through. If you do find the stream helpful or you are enjoying it, I would appreciate it if you could like it. It helps me out a lot, and it helps more people see these streams on YouTube, so more people know about these severe weather events. We currently have 5 likes and we have 11 people watching, so that means that we could have 11 likes, so I would appreciate it if you could help me out. Or if you don't like the stream, you could give me constructive feedback in chat on how I could make it better. Hopefully our lag isn't too bad tonight. On OBS it says we're running at a solid 60 frames per second. We might be live for while these storms move in to the Des Moines Metro, and I think that I would like to stay live because I don't have any reason not to. So once again, the biggest threat with these storms is going to be damaging winds. Hail is a very minor concern, but remember, damaging winds can down trees, it could cause power outages, and that's not even the start of it. This reminds me of July 15th, 2024. I mean, it's in a similar region, but I wouldn't say it's nearly as bad. July 15th was crazy. I remember that day. Unfortunately, I wasn't live. I don't think I was. But once again, if you are just tuning in, we currently have some intense damaging winds, very strong damaging winds, moving along Interstate 80, approaching DeSoto, Iowa, and Adel. So these are eventually going to be making their way into the Des Moines Metro. You thought the title said tornado emergency, not gonna lie. I could see that because, at least on mobile, the words emergency and tornado are on top of each other. I didn't mean to confuse an Udall and DeSoto. Okay, thank you for the clarification. I try my best to pronounce town names, but it's kind of difficult when you're not familiar with the area. But I know Des Moines. It's not Des Moines. Urbandale, Johnston, Grimes, Polk City, Ankeny, Prairie City, Norwalk, Indianola, Pleasantville. But thankfully, it does look like those damaging winds we're kind of losing them. You can see tonight's goal, it's very steep, and whether we hit it or not, we're going to keep streaming. But when I started this stream, we had 1,572 subscribers, and we're currently at 1,578. So I'd appreciate it if you could help me hit my goal. And coming up in the next few days, I do have a documentary, just an analysis on the Parkersburg, Iowa tornado. It's not the most in-depth thing ever, but it is definitely interesting, so I recommend you give it a watch. It should be out in the next few days. I had a poll out today for voting on the thumbnail, and the thumbnail has been decided. I've written the description for the video, so I'd imagine it'll probably premiere on the evening of July 11th or 12th. Also, go subscribe to Storm Chaser Patrick Pineda. He's letting me use his footage. He is currently on these storms on Interstate 80, somewhere in the Stewart region, approaching Des Moines. And you can see how frequent the lightning is with that storm. Let me make his feed wider for just a moment. I think he's looking north of the interstate. So it is very frequent lightning. Consistent. But once again, please go subscribe to him. He's based in Colorado. But currently here on these storms. So if you are just tuning in, oh no, the damaging winds are picking up again. We lost them for a scan, and now they're back. Okay, so it looks like mainly this is going to be a west and north Des Moines thing. It's going to avoid areas like the airport. I mean, the airport will get something, but it shouldn't be as bad. But the damaging winds are almost to Des Moines. I feel like I'm repeating myself. I'm not quite sure what to say. But I think the strongest damaging winds are going to stay north of downtown Des Moines. There's going to be heavy rain with this storm, along with heavy rain, damaging winds, small hail, and we do have the potential for an isolated spin-up tornado, so stay tuned into the stream, because I'm going to be here while Des Moines rides it out through the storm. So power outages are possible, so I would recommend getting those devices on the charger if you can. Localized flooding is also a threat that we may see down the road because there's a lot of heavy rain. This storm is moving relatively slowly. I mean, it's been heavily raining in Redfield, Iowa for at least the past 20 minutes. And the rain it adds up quickly. So you need to be very careful. It's unfortunate the National Weather Service didn't put a 70-mile-per-hour tag on this, because that would have made it a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. And I always thought that only destructive severe thunderstorm warnings triggered the wireless emergency alert, but apparently the considerable ones do as well. The only time I ever got a wireless emergency alert for a severe thunderstorm warning was for baseball-sized hail. Did I say Uddle wrong when I said it just a few minutes ago? I just realized that. Uddle. Sorry for the confusion, everyone. We have a special weather statement. I guess this is old. It expires in 8 minutes. But this is near Oak Park, Elmwood, Norridge, Lincolnwood, Park Ridge. So this is in the Chicago Metro. For gusty winds of 50 to 55 miles per hour, so seek shelter inside a sturdy building. Those rain showers, those clusters of storms can, piles up over time. We currently have 15 people watching. If you are just tuning in, we're tracking these damaging winds which are making their way into the Des Moines, Iowa metro area. They're currently 19 miles west of the Des Moines airport. So if you are just tuning in, I would appreciate it if you could like the stream and subscribe to the channel, but it is completely optional. And if you would like to help support me with the cost of the weather radar tools like Radar Omega and Radar Scope, I do have a PayPal. It's at Mr. Twister YT, but that is also completely optional, and you will be placed on the dono board for this stream. And I might not reset that until after tomorrow. But all three of those things are completely optional. Even just watching helps out a lot, so I appreciate you being here. Because at the end of the day, my goal is to make sure everyone is safe and that they can ride out this storm. So be sure you are getting away from windows because we are preparing for this storm to hit Des Moines, Iowa. Currently, the strongest pockets of damaging winds are stretching from DeSoto all the way north to Perry. This area, I'll change the color of that circle. We'll do, I think red's good. And those are moving directly east at 40 miles per hour. I'm going to check up on Patrick, see what he's doing. He's on this storm. Let me see what Evan said. Will all of Western Ohio get extended to a slight risk on Saturday? See, that's a hard question to answer because I'm not the Storm Prediction Center, but let's take a look at what the risk currently is. I haven't looked much further than the day 1 and 2. So currently, Western Ohio is under a marginal risk. We can't see the individual threats yet until that's on day 2. but it is certainly possible. I can't confirm anything, though, unfortunately. I haven't looked at models that far out yet. Lately, I've been enjoying doing coverage more than forecast. I feel like that's kind of my thing. And I hope you all enjoy it too. I bet you all of Western Ohio will at least be under a marginal by the day one outlook. 68 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts near Panther, Iowa. Alright, let's look for Panther. I'd imagine it's somewhere in this area. Here, I'll just search it up for time's sake. Yeah, we've got some tense damaging winds. That's kind of where the pocket curves. You can see it goes like near Black Corners in Panther, Iowa, south of Minburn. So once again, if you are just tuning in, these damaging winds are moving on a direct path to Des Moines, Iowa. Thankfully, there has been pretty advanced warning for this storm. I am hoping the National Weather Service upgrades this to at least 65 or 70 miles per hour. But nonetheless, take the same precautions. And we respect the National Weather Service. At the end of the day, they know best. For some reason, YouTube likes to make a lot of people automatically watch my streams in 480 or 720p. So go to your quality settings and be sure you have it set to the highest, which should be 1080p 60 for the best stream experience, quality, whatever you want to call it. But once again, thank you for tuning in, everyone, to this late night stream. I wasn't expecting to be here this late, but I figured, oh, why not? If I can, might as well. Alright, I'm checking in on everything just to make sure I'm not missing anything. This area is under a MPD, which stands for Mesoscale Precipitation Discussion. So heavy rainfall, flash flooding likely for slow-moving thunderstorms, and that is this cluster we're looking at right now. Wow, those damaging winds near West Des Moines are really picking up. Alright, Des Moines, it is time. Get in your safe spot, because these storms are here. I'm surprised this isn't 70 miles per hour. So there is a flood risk with these storms once again because they are moving slowly. Alright, let me check up on chat. Localized flooding in Udall Highway to Waukee. Woki. I'm not sure how to say that. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong. I'll try my best. But I'm assuming that's Walkie, like Milwaukee. Alright, so this storm is just about in Des Moines. Patrick is just to the west of Des Moines, Iowa. You can see his feed. Frequent lightning, heavy rain, so flooding is certainly possible. Flash flooding is likely. The National Weather Service has noted that. Alright, Sydney is still here. If anyone needs to go, feel free to go. You absolutely do not have to stay here at the stream. Nobody's obligated to. But I will be here for as long as I can while this storm moves through the Des Moines Metro. Still surprised this hasn't been upgraded to at least 65 mile per hour damaging winds. Packing? Are you going on a trip? That sounds fun. So, expect damage to roofs, siding, and trees. This includes the following highways: Interstate 35 between mile markers 47 and 72, between mile markers 87 and 100, and then for Interstate 80. For Interstate 80, this is between mile markers 90 and 147. For Interstate 235, 1 and 14. So pretty much all of Des Moines is included in this severe thunderstorm warning, as far east as Altoona, Pleasant Hill, so much of the metro. Alright, these storms are getting really close to Des Moines. This is what I went live for, so we can expect damaging winds to knock out trees, power lines. So these storms are now in the West Des Moines Metro. I'm seeing damaging winds 70 to 75 miles per hour with this storm. However, unfortunately, the National Weather Service still has it at 60 miles per hour, but no hate to them. The National Weather Service knows best. So if you can, pull off roadways, get those cars indoors, secure loose objects. But at this point, if you're on West Des Moines, near Johnston, Grimes, Waukee, Urbandale, at this point, I'd recommend getting indoors because your safety is much more important than your, just stuff. Thankfully, it does look like we do not have rotation, which is likely to produce a tornado at the moment, but that could always change. Abby, I think hail more than anything is what causes those storm claims, especially for vehicles and roofs and siding. But, damaging winds can knock down trees, and there's always those videos of cars being hit and roofs. But obviously, the people are the most important, and that's why I'm live, to make sure everybody stays safe. Hold on, everyone. For just a second, I've got to turn off our screen capture. Bear with me just a moment. I need to get our stream chat pulled up again. But yes, I am still here. Alright. Let me check up on chat. We've got 10 people watching. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Right now we are tracking damaging winds moving into the West Des Moines Metro. Fortunately, the high winds do a big number on farm buildings. Yes, and the people out there don't necessarily have the resources to repair those. But obviously the most important thing, the people and the farm animals. Okay. I think I could turn back the screen and we should be good. Alright, there we go. Sorry, everyone. But we are good. Just hit West Des Moines. The wind is gnarly. Yes, and the most intense pocket of wind is heading straight for the radar, which is located north of Johnston. This is going north of the airport, but it does look like this is a very populated area near Waukee, Urbandale. This is right now in West Des Moines. We have no tornado on the ground or any concerning rotation at the moment, but that can always change. But I'm going to be here keeping an eye on it. It's really hard to tell when you're so close to the radar like this, but it does look like this is all damaging winds. And I hate to say thankfully, but damaging winds, especially at 60 or 70 miles per hour, is a lot better than a tornado, especially in a populated area like this. But once again, get away from windows, sturdy structure. If you're in a high-profile vehicle, please pull off the road and, gas station, get out and get into the gas station. Use the radar location to the west. I'm not quite sure what you mean. This is the only radar in Des Moines. This is the Des Moines radar. The other radar is in Omaha, Nebraska, near Valley, and that's a lot less, detailed. This storm does kind of have a notch with it, so we're definitely going to need to keep an eye on that. According to my streaming software, our microphone is pretty quiet, so if you could let me know in the chat if it needs to be louder or if we're good. But once again, these damaging winds are moving into western Des Moines. Currently near Dallas Center, north of Waukee. And behind this line, there is still plenty of rain, so this is definitely going to cause flash flooding. I can pull this up on, let's see, if we take a look at radar scope, for some reason I don't have precipitation discussions enabled on my computer, but if I screen mirror this, you can see this mesoscale precipitation discussion going out for eastern Nebraska, far northeast South Dakota. I don't know, far northeast South Dakota. That's southeast South Dakota, so that's a weird error. But anyway, heavy rainfall, flash flooding likely from slow-moving thunderstorms. But that being said, our main focus is Des Moines. Someone's saying there's a gross notch on this storm. Yes, I was just talking about that, and I think somebody else in another chat pointed it out. I just noticed that. We do have this area over here. Thankfully, it does look like at this time it is unlikely to produce anything other than damaging winds. I should probably change the title. We no longer have a tornado warning. Let's go live. Bear with me just a second, everyone. Changing the title so everyone knows what's going on, because it still says tornado warning. We don't have a tornado warning, but still very strong storms. Strong, severe thunderstorms impact Des Moines, Iowa. Severe thunderstorms impact Des Moines. I feel like I spelled that wrong. Nope, M-O-I-N-E-S. Metro, live as it happened. And today is July 11th. I guess it's the 12th, or it's the 10th here in Mountain Time, but we'll consider it July 10th. Sorry about that, everyone. Just had to get the title updated. Should be good now. If you do have any questions in chat for your area, or you would like to make a report, I would highly appreciate it. As much information as possible. It really helps out. But please prevent the spread of false information, because a false report can really do damage, especially when we have to be so careful in a populated area like this. Just watch all the recycling bins float, such blow down the street in West Des Moines. Yeah, that's definitely a signature thing that happens every single time there's heavy rain and damaging winds. Alright, so it looks like these most intense damaging winds are staying north of Des Moines, those 70-mile-per-hour gusts, but we still have at least 60, 65 in the Des Moines Metro, so nonetheless, stay in your shelter. I'm gonna check up on the power outage map. Oh, wait. There we go. Okay, power outage US. So right now, in Iowa, central Iowa, the state overall currently, as of 6 minutes ago, has 2,462 customers without power, and the majority of those are in Cass, Adair, and Guthrie County. And Des Moines is in Polk County, and in Polk County, as of 6 minutes ago, 30 customers out of 250,000 were without power, but I do expect that number to rise. Obviously, that's not our biggest issue, but continue to stay indoors in Des Moines, Iowa. Oh no, I think our microphone got quiet again. Okay. Unfortunately, sometimes it does that. Alright. Continuing to watch, we may have some rotation here in Des Moines. It's really hard to tell at this point in time. I'm surprised we don't even have the tornado possible tag with this storm. But we love the National Weather Service, and they know best. It's just a bit weird. Hi, Elaine. Thank you for tuning in to the stream. I hope you're doing well. Your internet has been out. That's always a pain. Right now, we are covering damaging winds moving into the Des Moines, Iowa Metro. And I see some damaging winds, at least 70 miles per hour, currently ongoing, but this is warned for 60. So we're watching for possible rotation, and flash flooding is also likely. Look at this big cluster of rain we've got moving through. More than half of the state, I would estimate, is currently seeing rain. Des Moines National Weather Service's branches and trees down in Guthrie. Let's take a look. I think I saw a report earlier. There was one near Audubon. I think I said that right. But that report was for 3-inch tree limbs down. But once again, thanks for tuning in, Elaine. It's great to see you. Is there debris? Let's check correlation coefficient. Okay, so here's CC. And then on this side, we'll get velocity. Okay, so where I would assume there is rotation, in here near Windsor Heights, that's what I'm guessing is the rotation. It looks like we just have some contamination, so nothing that I can see on CC, but that notch is definitely concerning. Oh, my phone almost just, it slid off my desk, but I caught it. Sorry about that loud noise, everyone. But if you are just tuning in, we are tracking these damaging winds moving into the Des Moines, Iowa Metro. And I can't even say moving in anymore, because that's what I've been saying. They are there, along with heavy rain, so flash flooding is possible. And we are looking for the isolated spin-up tornado, which is certainly possible this evening. And it's unfortunate to have to say that when we're talking about a region so populated. We also have Storm Chaser Patrick Pineda. He's been generous enough to allow me to use his live feed. You can see him. His stream is in the top right. He is currently in Des Moines, in the metro, I believe on the west side. Let me pull up his link. Please go subscribe to him. He let me use the footage. And also, if you would like to help me out with, just the cost of radar apps and more, just pretty much all of that stuff that comes with the expense of doing severe weather coverage, which, by the way, those expenses are not nearly as much as storm chasing is. But it just helps me pay for Radar Omega, Radar Scope, and hopefully some other tools in the future like Pivotal Weather Premium, but I think I need to learn a little bit more before I get that. But let me get Patrick's link in chat for you all. That is his stream, so go like his stream and subscribe to his channel. He's great. And the PayPal is at Mr. Twister YT. It's the blue part on your screen. But getting back into our severe weather coverage. Alright, we've got more strong damaging winds in southern Des Moines. I'm going to change this color to white. Got a pocket down there near Indianola. And then the most intense pocket is near Granger, near Grimes, Polk City, right by the radar near Saylorville Lake, north of Johnston, Iowa. Let me look for Patrick's spotter dot. We'll try to figure out where he is. It's always helpful to know. Okay, so he is currently on Interstate 235 near Windsor Heights, right here, and that's what he's seeing. So very intense lightning you can see up here on his feed. It looks like they do still have power there, though. That's always good news. I need to get closer to the mic. I need to get used to that. I have a new one now, so it's a bit different of a setup. I'm honestly just as concerned about the flash flooding as I am for the damaging winds. This could be a lot worse than it is. So, as of about 10 minutes ago in Polk County, Iowa, which is where Des Moines is, 30 out of 249,000 customers were without power. That number is likely to rise with these storms because trees can fall on power lines. But if you are in Des Moines, continue to seek shelter away from windows. But no tornado ongoing at this time. I appreciate the support on this stream. This stream has been great. I didn't expect a stream this late at night to do so well. It's almost 1 a.m. in the Central Time Zone, which is where the majority of my viewers come from. So I appreciate all of you for being with me, especially this late. Thank you, Caleb. I'm happy to be here. I do this because I enjoy it, but more importantly because I like to help people out. And this is just a good way to do it. I mean, the whole reason I'm here is because I have amazing fans who are willing to watch this, and I wouldn't be this far if it wasn't for the amazing support from all of you. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you everyone for always supporting my channel. Gosh, I really need to get used to my microphone setup being different because I'm realizing whenever I look at the other screen how quiet it sounds. I'm not liking this right here. You can see it on the right side of my screen. Alright, Elaine, thank you. He'll be live tomorrow as well. So, be sure to go watch his stream. New mesoscale discussion for severe thunderstorm watch may be needed very soon for Davenport. Let's take a look. Thanks for letting me know, Evan. I don't think I have mesoscale discussions on desktop. Let me get those enabled. I typically have them off. But there we go. I see what you're talking about. It stretches back into Des Moines all the way to Davenport. A downstream severe thunderstorm watch may be needed soon across portions of Iowa. A well-established Boeing cluster with a history of severe wind gusts is currently moving across central Iowa. Yep, so that is what we are tracking right now. Okay, so let's go back to our event in Des Moines. I think we may have some rotation developing here up in North Des Moines near the radar. I can't confirm that. It's too hard to tell because if there is rotation, it's on two different sides of the radar. But it's more than likely damaging winds. Be back in a minute. Alright, take your time, Elaine. And if I don't see you again this evening, have a great night. We've got 20 people watching, which is almost a record for me. The most I've ever had watching is, I believe, 28. There's your new information, Mr. Twister. If you need any more updates, let me know. Alright, I will, Evan. I appreciate it. Thank you for your help. At the very least, if that isn't rotation, those damaging winds are really starting to pick up. I wouldn't be surprised to see at least 70 miles per hour over there near Saylorville, Kearney. Looks like we have two airports here. I'm not sure which one is the main Des Moines one, but we have DSM, which I'm assuming is the main one, and then this one up here, which must be much smaller, KIKV. But once these damaging winds are done with Des Moines, and it's moved through. Oh, new severe thunderstorm warning. Finally. Yes, they added the 70 mile per hour damaging wind tag. For some reason, they just didn't want to add it to the old one. But it is there. Alright, so that is triggering the wireless emergency alert. I thought there was strong rotation north of Des Moines, but I was like, that's definitely contamination. It more than likely is, but it never hurts to just let people know that there is always that potential, because whether that is rotation or not, you need to be seeking shelter for those damaging winds, along with flash flooding. But at this point, if you are in western Des Moines, near Norwalk, Martinsdale, to the east of DeSoto, you're good to come out of your safe spot if you are already there. You know, this whole area where I have in this circle on this side of the screen, the left, that's all good. But where you see those brighter colors, the yellow and the white over here, in the northeast part of the metro, please continue to stay in your safe spot. Elaine K with the donation.